Joining us to discuss all these developments is ANC acting spokesperson Dakota Legoete. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Legoete.
Thank you very much, and all the viewers at home.
So, Batabile Dlamini is saying this is a societal issue. Of course, patriarchy is, but this is a specific ANC issue. What's the ANC doing? Why hasn't this been taken to the cops, even by the party?
We only received the complaint officially last week in the form of a grievance. And yesterday it was discussed by our top six, and the relevant comrade was informed. Today, this morning, he informed the office of the Secretary General that he's going to take leave and step aside in his responsibilities as the spokesperson of the ANC to allow for a panel that is being appointed by the Secretary General office, Comrade Ace Makashule, yesterday, which is constituted by Comrade Stumo Dlamini and Comrade Toko Didiza, which is going to preside over this grievance hearing. And that is why we want to welcome the decision by Comrade Pule and appreciate that the fact that he stood aside without being coerced. He voluntarily did this. And this is consistent with what the Integrity Commission of the ANC has recommended to all of us as members of the ANC, that if we are found on the wrong side or there are allegations against any one of us, what would be prudent is for us to step aside, whether there is guilt finding or innocent finding, that will be dealt with later. What is important is for anybody to step aside to allow the integrity of the ANC to remain intact.
If he didn't step aside, would the party suspend him?
Obviously, that's part of the procedure, because if somebody who's senior, like Comrade Pule Mabe, who's a spokesperson, who's part of the full-time...
He represents the party.
Yes, he represents the party. So,
Mr. Legoete, why did it take a week? Because there are some claims that it looks like the party was going to try and hush this up. This is a serious claim against somebody who's in the public eye. Why did it take a week for it to come out?
Look, we work with structures. It was brought in late.
But this is a criminal matter. It's not an internal matter. It's a criminal matter.
Yeah, no. That's why even the victim reserved the rights to take it even to the law enforcement agencies. For as it is now as the ANC, we received it officially through the top six yesterday. We have already acted. There is a panel that is being appointed to listen to this particular grievance, to ensure that we protect the rights of the victim. And we have also activated our human resource department to ensure that they follow up on ensuring that there is enough support, both emotionally and psychologically, to the victim. And we hope, as part of our grievance procedure, in terms of our staff manual, the matter will be concluded very quick to ensure that the rights and the concern of the victims are protected. Because as the African National Congress, we are very clear. We cannot promote any gender-based violence. We are very clear that 16 days of activism must be every day throughout the year, to ensure that at least our children and women are protected. And equally the same, will deal harshly so even with our leaders.
I think she herself said she was hired with no experience. That looks suspicious when you're hired by a much older man, you're a young woman hired with no experience. Didn't the alarm bells go off? We've heard about this modus operandi before.
Look, in a political appointment, the issue of the PA, just like the issue of the Chief of Staff, it's a trust relations position. So each and every one...
Maybe that should change.
Yeah, maybe that should change, but it's a matter for consideration of policy for the future. But that's the trend even today, both from the ANC and any other party. That's how we work. Because in the office where we work closely with our staff members, it's the appointment dates of trust relationship. So you are allowed as a political head to can headhunt any person that you deem fit to can assist you. And in this regard, I think that's what happened.
All right, so that's not being looked at all?
Look, it's a matter for another discussion, but as it is the case now, it has been a practice. All
right, besides that, so we heard now 7 mayors being recalled. Idani Mkhlangu in Gauteng. A quick statement from your party on the Northwest, on what happened, which we're going to speak about. But this sounds like a cleanup.
There is no cleanup. All of us...
That's a good thing. It sounds like a cleanup.
Yeah, it sounds like a cleanup, but there's no cleanup. You would remember that when we went to Nazareth, there was a diagnostic report which clearly defined some of the sins of incumbencies that we have as the African National Congress. some of the issues which were raised is that the ANC, it's soft. It has a soft heart to corruption, to maladministration, and it takes a long time to handle its cadres. And
so
it was
you
resolved,
are cleaning up.
It was resolved from Nazareth that the Integrity Commission needs to be given rules, it needs to be given teeth. And as it is the case now, the Integrity Commission has made a finding that all members who are implicated, be it in Limpopo, be it in Northwest, be it in any other provinces related to VBS, whether innocent or guilty, they must step aside so that they allow the integrity of the ANC to remain intact, so that they don't drag the name of the ANC in their problems, because these people were mayors, and as a mayor, you are the chairperson of the Budget and Finance Committee. Your fiduciary role is to ensure that you protect the interest of the public that you are leading, to ensure that the public and taxpayers' money is spent carefully and surely for things that have been set aside either in the IDP or in the budget. So if there's an oversight lapse from that particular executing authority as the mayor, we no longer only take accountability authorities either in the form of municipal managers or in the form of HODs. Even in the form of executing authority, be the mayor, be the minister, be the MEC, all of them now are going to be held accountable. If there's any allegations against any one of us, you would be called before the Integrity Committee to clarify yourself. If there's nothing that you can clarify, that particular administrative action, the Integrity Committee has still the authority to can make a decision. And I think the National Working Committee this time has endorsed the decision and the recommendations of the Integrity Committee related to all these players.
Did the NEC force Limpopo to act, or did they act of their own volition today when those 7 mayors were recalled?
Look, the recommendation was made by the Integrity Commission, which recommendation was went to the National Working Committee, and the National Working Committee accepted the recommendation of the Integrity Commission. Now that acceptance means it's binding to all our provinces. They will have to ensure that they implement this thing. And you need to know, and leaders and members of the ANC now needs to know, that integrity and reputation is not an inheritance. It's not that President Oliver Tambo was good, President Nelson Mandela was good. That's an inheritance that we have as a result of their reputation. We still have to work for our own profile. We still have to work as the ANC now, ensure that we deliver services to our people. We work honestly with the taxpayers' money. The honeymoon is over. We cannot allow it anymore.
All right. I think many people would welcome what happened with the mayors. We are going to speak to the Limpopo Premier. So with you, I'd like to just quickly end off with the Northwest. We're hearing of people hospitalized with stab wounds. This was during a list conference in the Northwest. What on earth happened?
Look, we are clear as the African National Congress that we cannot be a theatre of criminals who masquerade as comrades of the ANC. If these were members of the ANC, the provincial task team in that province, in line with the constitution of the ANC and the code of conduct, has the authority to act against these members. But furthermore, because what they did, there is nothing political about it, there is nothing revolutionary about it, it's just a pure criminal act. The law enforcement agencies must be engaged, and they must act swiftly to arrest these criminals, because we can't afford the reputation and the integrity of the ANC to be dragged into criminal elements who fight for position, who fight for resources.
How many criminals in the Northwest were stabbing people, ANC members stabbing each other? How many involved?
Look, so far there's one person that has been reported. There are a number of others who are injured, who are being hospitalized. But the one who has been stabbed so far, who has reported, is one. Sure. But what we are saying, this is just a regrettable situation. It's an abominable act by criminal elements. It cannot be encouraged. We condemn it in the strongest terms as the African National Congress, and we want the law to take its course. And we are, as the ANC, going to take action against these thugs, because they can't be members and leaders of the ANC.
I agree, but is the ANC looking back? I mean, we saw communities in outrage over Supra Mahumapelo's leadership eventually taking to the streets because he wasn't going anywhere. He then came and said here that his ANC enemies were going after him, but it's been vicious for a long time in that province.
Look, you need to understand, we made a commitment to renew the African National Congress. Part of our renewal is that things will never be allowed to happen the same way like it happened in the past. Any wrongdoing in the African National Congress now, it's deemed as a serious offense and actions are going to be taken. The Integrity Commission is going to be activated. If there's any report about Chapter 9 institutions, about any one of us, or any report, be it in Parliament, by the Ethics Committee, we are going to act against our members, because we can no longer afford to be treated like a haven which defend corruption, to be treated like a haven which defend wrongdoing. We are renewing the ANC, and if it means it's part of cleanup, we'll have to do it to ourselves. We are subject as members of the ANC, and we have to accept the constitution of the ANC, the authority of the ANC, the policies of the ANC, the decisions of the ANC, and we must be loyal to them, so that everybody and all in sundry can see that the ANC as a governing party, it's serious about the lives of our people, it's serious about running the country, and it's serious about the future of South Africa.
All right, thank you for your time, and we will be speaking to the Premier of Limpopo regarding those mayors. There's a whole lot of developments affecting the ANC. That was the acting spokesperson, Dakota Legoete.